No, that's why I was telling man, you can't be high. I ain't gonna let you high side on me. In other words, I ain't gonna let you make a fool out of me. And them other guys get on there and they wanna look intelligent. Oh, the Black Panther, what's his name?
Zulu Shabazz.
Zulu them, they pitiful on them shows. That's why they get to go back over and over again. So now what Mr. Putin said was, we are and has been, that's Iran, Turkey, and Russia, non-dollar transactions, they're already doing it. And on the other side too, China buys almost 874,000 barrels of Iranian oil per day, and they still buy it. So there's stuff that we're gonna suck up all of you, gonna stop all of your oil, by November. That ain't working. So now, remember, like they created all the other environment, they have created a solid block of people sanctioning Russia, which has 8 times, whatever it is, a pretty big place. Twice the size of the United States, including Alaska, 600 some million square miles is how big Russia is. And you're gonna put all those natural resources, forests, pristine lakes, water to be demand, and they're gonna isolate Russia, sanction Russia. They're gonna sanction Iran. In the Middle East, they should look at the size. Iran dwarfs all of those people on both sides. And I drove around Iran. I felt like when I do drive around the U.S., you just driving, you're out there driving. You're in the desert, driving. Now you're in the mountains and trees and whatever, you're driving. It's a big place. In Turkey, remember what we talked about years ago? The Mughal Empire, right? Who's working together? Iran. Iran, Afghanistan, and Pakistan. Those two parts are part of the old Mughal Empire. When we talked about strategic alliance, the alliance is getting more solid, and the alliance is winning everything. And the alliance is not losing anything. And the U.S. and the Zionists are losing everything. Okay. So Putin said U.S. strategic error, short-term thinking. And As-Sabiqun moves forward without malice. When we go back, and the white lady called me the other night, I just wrote the name on top of a piece of paper, and then I got back and she called me. The lawyer, oh, you're such and such and such. What do you want for you? And all of that. I said, I want all of my, everything in my arrest reports. I want everything in discovery, all of it. Technically, I don't need that stuff. I could have been to court 100 years ago. You know, I have, anyway, we're on the road. Let's see. I have here, let's say, USA can't stop digging. Cooperate in resisting unilateral something or other. This, keys, unity. Create common strategy, avoid artificial crisis. I forget whether that was Putin. That might have been Putin that said that. Unity, common strategy to avoid artificial crisis. I think that was the rock bar.
And he met with the Rahbar.
He met with the rock bar, no doubt about it, I saw that. The language and the Turks, everybody's there. The Turks is all for it, see, because they force them together. The U.S. give the Kurds, the bad Kurds, you know, the ones that want to kill everybody and everything. Those Kurds. Look, one thing, you want to force somebody to be mad is give the Kurds something against Turkey, so they give them weapons. So that means that's why Turkey invaded parts of Syria and what have you, because they said, no man, we go in and get them guys, we can't have them guys up. And they tell the U.S., no, you can't do that, but them guys, you know who they are? Well, the U.S. stumbles. The U.S. and the Zionist Israelis they have made every environmental and situational circumstance in the region. They did it. Almost as like we don't have to do nothing but just be good Muslims. Almost, but we got to do our job. To the focus Oakland. Remember, we talked about the national code, we talked about the national mobilization, Islamic liberation of Oakland, East Oakland, Azad. There would be two phases or places, Oakland and D.C. Stalingrad to Oakland, Stalingrad is a turning point. All of those things we've done. Bay Area Liberation Campaign. History of organizations, demonstration of sufficient skills in all areas to handle this job, including psychological asymmetric warfare. We've done, and we've said we've done, just like what Hezbollah did. Hezbollah in 2006 used second and third generation weapons to defeat Israeli fourth and fifth generation weapons, because they used the old stuff in new combinations.
See, that's just what Iran, Iran just did that with the S-300 that they got from Russia. They have improved it way past what the S-300 can do. They made it a more efficient defense system than what they were given.
Okay, now what Iran is just like India used to be. India would go by, they copy, like Japan and China did, they copy stuff. Remember those drones, sophisticated American drones? They copied it. You know, they showed they copied it. They got their own, but they copied it. Reverse engineering. This stuff really come to play in 1944, 1945. Outside of the atomic bomb, the greatest improvement in power was the V-2 rockets from Germany and the Super Fortress, not the B-17, but the B-29. The B-29 was the top of aerial warfare. It could fly so high as one on top of the atomic bomb. They just used them in the West. They didn't use them all over on the East Coast and back. They used B-17. But it was some big mission that the U.S. was running out of gas over Russia. And so they landed, the U.S. Air Force landed in Russia. they had 3 planes. By the end of the war, they had where they used to have a big Russian parade, and they had 4 B-29s. What happened? Here's what the Russians did. They took every piece apart, numbered it, numbered that, took it all apart, remanufactured that exact piece, put it all back together by the number, and they had a B-29. That was over 70 years ago. This S-300, which Iran bought years ago from Russia, at that time was a top missile defense system. Now, Iran said, we just made it ourselves. Now, Russia, what they did was, they've been selling everybody else the new system, the S-400. It's superior to the S-300, unless Iran had bought the S-300 when that's the best that they had. But the last 6 or 7 years, they improved so much, so they call that system the S-400. What they should have did was given Iran the S-400 system. But whatever they gave Iran, you got to remember all the brothers that was here, Iran has got top guys, man. So all they do is if they can get their hands on anything, all they're going to do is the same thing the Russians did 70 years ago. Take it apart, piece by piece, number that, unscrew that, put a number on it, and now the S-300, what is it supposed to do? They're going to upgrade that, and they're going to say, well, since you didn't give it to us, we had already produced it. Iran only had the S-300 now about a year. So they're just going to take that bar apart. They're going to take apart the best system they can get their hands on. And they're going to remake it themselves.
Like the Chinese did that, the AWAC plane.
The Chinese, and I want everybody, the Chinese, the Japanese, y'all would remember transistor radios. Remember the old radios had all them tubes in it? Tubes. Then they come out with the little transistor, everybody's laughing at them. Japan, China, and now other countries do the same thing. Copy what the big boys have. When I was overseas in the 70s, a good German camera cost $300. You could buy the Japanese model that they copied for $100. And Kaizen in Japanese means slow, steady improvement. So when they copy your stuff the first time, it may roll down the hill and fall apart, everybody laugh, but they improve, and they improve. Pretty soon, your product is not as good as their product that was yours. So everybody does that. India used to do it in artillery and everything years ago. Now Iran just does that. So anything they can buy, they just buy one of them and then hook that boy up. Iran has produced a little fighter jet. It may fly around the block, but they'll improve it and improve it without being too overbearing. Now we have a domestic coalition here that we have to deal with against Nazism. The U.S. has technically became a Nazi state. All the laws that we had, you don't have those rights. They have police procedures and other things that knock those away. When I went to coffee this morning, I said, I'm not going to take no ID. Why? Because I have treated like a Jew in Germany. Remember the old movies, Papers, Please? What did the police say? Let's see your papers, your insurance, and all that. Okay, all those laws are passed for somebody to make money. What do you mean? I have to prove who I am. Why? Do I look like a suspect? But they slowly whittle away at our laws, our rights, by passing ordinances and passing other little systems that slowly but surely. Now, the revolution, U.S. revolution, was to protect for the citizen. Now everything is made to protect the police. Right? Well, we have to protect ourselves. Well, the Constitution is not to protect you. The authorities take third place for us. It's for the citizen. Right?
Or everything I felt threatened by you.
Well, just leave. If you feel threatened, don't arrest the guy. Who says you got to arrest?
Get another job.
That's what I mean is, if it's so dangerous, how are you going to let a traffic stop escalate into killing somebody over and over again? Something's wrong. Everybody's killed over a traffic stop or eye rolling and things. It's not anything. You were selling cigarettes on the street. How are you going to let that escalate into killing? If you feel threatened, hey, just okay, keep the cigarettes, I'll see you tomorrow. Or your tail light is sprayed, here's a warning ticket, I'm gone. How could you let a traffic stop escalate, the most minor offense, escalate into a death penalty? Because they've given crackpots the right to shoot people. And the American people don't even believe, black people even, that there are people that are going out in the morning wanting to shoot somebody. It's white boys, I want to shoot a nigga. If I can just get a chance, I'm going to shoot me a nigga. Why?
The white boy that shot the black kid that was a senior in high school up in Pennsylvania.
Yes.
He just got sworn in 2 hours before. He just got sworn in as a police officer 2 hours.
Yeah.
So what you're saying got to be true.
Yeah.
I want to shoot me a nigga. I just got sworn in, I'm going to shoot me a nigga.
Yeah.
And that's what he did. He shot the boy 3 times in his back. 17 years old.
And that ain't nothing new. It ain't nothing new at all. All of us at our age, that's our history. Okay, we're going to speed up with it. It's raining, we might as well should have took the day off anyway. But, every now and then, you know the rainy days?
Rainy night in Georgia.
Say, hey man, I ain't going to do nothing today. And then you deserve it every now and then. But anyway, mission to liberate the movement from foreign control and domination, inferiority complexes, sold out leadership, liberate the agenda against defeatism and an attitude and low self-image. We're going to do just like Hezbollah did in 2006, that we're going to use our low-tech strategies in combination with each other to produce the highest level of sophistication. Not we're going to do that, we've already done that. Okay. Course correction, we've talked about that. Course adjustment, that's for As-Sabiqun. Dream somewhere over the rainbow. Yeah, I like the statement because somewhere over the rainbow, way up high, the land that I heard of somewhere in a lullaby. The stuff we're trying to produce is just as dreamy as that. You want to participate in producing a global free war zone where human beings help each other That's a bedtime story. That's why I like Somewhere Over the Rainbow. It's a lullaby. It's like you gotta be deep in dreamland. But guess what? Think about all the stuff we written over the last 40 years. It's all coming out. So why wouldn't we dream? We should be, in those days, this is what we wanted, we're gonna work and struggle. That was, in those days, we've seen the result that this stuff is possible. Not only possible, it's likely. With crackpots like this, roadmap to crazy town. I mean, can you imagine? That's Washington, D.C., a roadmap to crazy town. The big white folks are referring to Washington, D.C. as crazy town. Washington, D.C. now has a worse reputation than when the most outlandish Negro in mayoral history got busted down there, downtown. What was her name? Rashida
Moore.
The bitch set me up. But they didn't call it crazy town. Now, they're referring to, it was a murder capital, it was all kind of
Dodge City.
Everything like that, but never crazy town. Now, and Mary did the best as he could. When they put him in, he was in the penitentiary, he got a visit, he was having sex. What do all the niggas do? You know, having sex in the visiting room and stuff like that. I think he was working in the powerhouse. He did as best he could to, F the government, F y'all, F everything you stand for. But they never got to crazy town. They never did. And he was there for decades, almost, not decades, a long time. Dreamland Awakens, willpower, fortitude. The Iranians are talking about it, the Russians are talking about it, internal Iranians are talking about it, the Turks are talking about it. We need willpower.